What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Nims, and like always, we're here to chat all things Manchester United. Now, before we go on and do our match preview, v Leeds, or match review, I should say, I'm just going to talk about my visit to the Pig and Whistle on Sunday night. It was with the Brisbane Manchester United Supporters Club. Now, they host matches there. You know, all the fans get together and we watch the game, which is really great. The atmosphere there was pumping. It was awesome. Even though we lost, we drew, and the game was fucking boring as hell. The fans really got into it, you know, singing, cheering. You know, it was really great. It was really fun for me. Met a few people there, really kind people, you know, just fans, United fans, Man United fans, I should say. But yes, definitely looking forward to heading back to the Pig and Whistle for the next, whether it's a Europa or a Premier League game, guys. I'm keen to get back down there and to show a bit more support to my club, and you know, hopefully meet more people there, and yeah, just have a lot of fun, because it really is a lot of fun. So let's get into the reviews. It was a boring match, boring 0-all draw. Yeah, good thing for me, the only thing that saved the night was the fucking atmosphere for me, going out to the Pig and Whistle and watching the game with the other fans. But yeah, apart from that, the game was fucking shit. It was boring. Not much happened. Team selection. Surprise inclusions for me was Marcus Rashford starting and then James. So Cavani and Pogba were back onto the bench. Scott and Fred were in midfield, and the lineup really looked like, or really followed our last lineup against them at home. So I think that's what Ollie was hoping for. But surprisingly, Leeds did not come out and playing like they usually do, with that full press and that high intensity, which I think took us by surprise a bit in our game plan. So we had to change that up a bit, because they didn't really park the bus, but they still set deep and waited for us to attack. But there were still gaps in midfield that we could get to, but they played the defense really well. They were really organized, so it made it more difficult for the likes of Bruno and Rashford, and Greenwood and Daniel James. You know, a lot of us, myself, I expected Cavani to start, especially with how good he's been in recent weeks. But that wasn't the case. The manager went for Rashford, obviously, who I thought didn't really have his best games this season. He had a few opportunities. A couple of the boys, Greenwood also had a couple of opportunities. Dan James got in there. I'd say Bruno as well. McTominay, we all had our opportunities, but we weren't as clinical as we were in the reverse fixture. Dan James as well, I don't think he took his chances really well. It was one of the most, the poor performers in my opinion. He just didn't really, he's a good player, but this game didn't really, you know, play to his strengths. Leeds sat back and they waited for us to attack. So, you know, getting past a player with skill isn't one of Dan James' strongest traits. So that they sort of really nullified him. And then, you know, we can talk about, you know, what players the manager had at disposal. You know, the likes of Donny van der Beek was there. You know, maybe starting Ahmad or playing Ahmad in as well. And then, you know, high intensity games, you know, that's why you don't want to take a risk. And I think the manager really, you know, had that in mind. You know, he might have been thinking about midweek, the Europa League game as well. But I doubt that. But yeah, just the team selection was a bit safe, and you know, our attack wasn't as good enough. Our defense was solid, but yeah, our attack, we just didn't seem to get anything through that midfield and to our forwards. At around half time, maybe done a change, brought Dan James off, and maybe played Donny van der Beek. Maybe go a diamond, you know, try to create something else and use what we have. And had Donny van der Beek in there, but no, you know, Ollie didn't take that risk. So, you know, we were pretty much nullified and we were lacking creativity. And in turn, you know, we suffered with... we had a few attempts on goal, actually, but, you know, not a lot of them were on target. So we weren't as clinical as we usually are. But definitely the tactics and the team selection could have been better because of the players we have, like the likes of Donny van der Beek. You know, he's just, you know, I think he's replacing Pogba. I think he's pretty good, you know, skills and technical ability, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's a better option than Dan James, I would say, in a game where the opposition is sitting back and waiting for us to attack. Now Pogba, he only came on 15 minutes to go, and that was understandably because he was fasting for Ramadan. You know, and with the high intensity of the Leeds match, he didn't really want to force him, you know, and just save him. You know, the result, you know, it was 0-all, so it's a fair result, maybe more favourable to Leeds than it is United. But yeah, I guess, you know, not risking Paul Pogba, but then that's why we got to ask what about Donny van der Beek and the tactics as well. Also, Cavani was introduced a bit too late for me. I felt that he should have been brought on maybe in the 60-minute mark. He could have had a bit more impact and worked into the game a bit more, and the manager's got to sort of give them the chance because, you know, not everyone's as good as Solskjaer. They need time to score, work into the game and get the chances to score. Yeah, Donny van der Beek, for me, really should have jumped in at half-time. For Dan James. Dan James really, and Marcus Rashford, for me, it wasn't so much of a poor performance, but it was an under par performance from what we expecting of him, because he's just so good. But apart from that, I think Dan James is really at the bottom of that list. Top performers, Wan-Bissaka was great. I thought Harry Maguire was good. Fred and McTominay in midfield again. You know, at times they got played around. And didn't offer that much creativity wise. You know, that's one thing that frustrates me, is they really try to play it safe and really hold back from playing that long ball, that Pogba type of ball forward. With the type of players we'll be recruiting this summer, you know, it has to be the type of mold of player that do the dirty work, do the defensive work, the high energy work, but also can have that killer pass, you know, and that's what we've been missing. Players who can do a bit of both, and you know, with Paul Pogba we get that to an extent, but maybe more of an attacking than a defensive. But he's still a great defender, defensive midfielder. But you know, maybe we need an extra somebody, because Scott and Fred, for me, they aren't just doing it. I mean, they defensively they are great, but attacking going forward, they really can't create much. Maybe if they're at the end of the box, they can finish off a move, but they can't really you know, be the key workings in a move. Some of the positives from that game, our unbeaten run away in the Premier League continues to 24 games. Now guys, we've overtaken Arsenal and we're in second place. Now Arsenal also hold first place with 27 matches unbeaten. So guys, this is a really good show of character and of progress, and a really good feat, as it shows that the team is working and they're progressing and they're laying the foundations and the building blocks to come back next season and to have a really good push and to have something really good to work off. So 24 matches unbeaten away in the Premier League is a really good stat to have. Also, that's 13 games unbeaten in the Premier League as well. Undefeated, little stat to have going into the end of the season. Not losing games as we hit the back end, but we want to be winning games. We just don't want to be drawing, especially with Leicester winning their match against Crystal Palace last weekend. You know, nothing's set in stone except for Man City, maybe until the final whistle of the season. So we just need to keep winning our games. Next Premier League games against Liverpool, and that's a big one as well, at home. And we need to win that one. We can't draw. We need to win. I mean, like, Pogba needs to play. You know, Fred and McTominay in midfield. Bruno, we need everyone to be playing their best as well. We need to win that game. We'll get another one over the Scousers, plus another 3 points on the board. Will be huge. Also, another clean sheet for Dean Henderson and the back four, which is good. Now, guys, let me know what you guys thought about that game. If you guys are going down to the Pig and Whistle, or if you guys do go down to the Pig and Whistle, guys, come say hi. It'll be good to meet other United fans that live in the area. Apart from that, guys, let me know who is your #1 goalkeeper, David De Gea or Dean Henderson. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.